Hey, my name is Steven, and I draw fonts as arrow type. If you have frequented the channel in the past, you may have noticed that I haven't posted in a while. It's been a busy year in mostly a good way. I've had quite a bit of work doing font engineering, which has been super great, and I've learned a lot, which I'm very happy about. But I haven't drawn as much type as I'd like to, and when I have had the chance to draw a type for myself, I've kind of tended to not record it as much just because it seems like extra trouble and I just want to draw. But today I'm feeling like recording and sharing something, partly because I have a bit of a fun task and a bit of a weird task. Um, so I'm going to be kind of trying to figure it out. And maybe I figure other people would be trying to figure this out and maybe I can help. Um, Of course, maybe it's just too much of an edge case, and other people won't be trying to figure it out. But oh well, we'll we'll see. So what I'm going to be doing is trying to make like a line font or a CNC font, or somebody I've heard call it a Hershey font. Um, Basically, the idea is if you were trying to use a CNC router or a laser cutter to write type, you wouldn't want the typical type that's like filled in, like shapes that are filled in, because that's more lines than you want to write. You just ideally would want to write a single path for every sort of stroke of the pen that would go into it. This is kind of a weird and hard thing in the world of fonts because the OpenType spec kind of assumes that every glyph is going to have closed contours, so shapes, not open lines. And a lot of software makes the same assumption. Only certain font build tools will even allow you to build a font that has open contours. One way around it is to essentially double up the contours so they are closed, but they're perfectly overlapping. And that way the CNC machine would be doing like a there and back kind of path. The specific thing I'm preparing this for, I can't really reveal exactly just yet, but this person does want it to be just single paths, open, and if I publish this more broadly in the future, I probably would go back and like do a doubled up version. I don't know. I'm going to be figuring out a lot today. So yes, without too much further ado, let's get into it. Here is Shantell Sans Light. This is a slightly older version of the font than is sort of the main version currently available. The project was kind of moved into glyphs once I started collaborating with Anya Danilova on the Cyrillic, but a lot was done here, and then we kind of moved into glyphs really for like the final kerning pass and such. So these are 99% of the way to the final versions, and the reason I'm back in RoboFont is that some of these have the original paths that were used to draw this. So let's see if I can. So yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it's all pretty goofy. The thing I was originally doing was like drawing these paths and then which outliner, there we go. And then using this outliner tool to kind of trace it. But there's some weirdness for sure, as you can see. I'm not necessarily going to use the outliner today, but I might. I don't exactly know. I'm still figuring it out. Anyhow, one thing I did recently was to kind of find all of the background glyphs here that had drawings in them. And to be honest, don't remember exactly how I did that. Anyway, this is not about that. I'm just going to be drawing and filling in some of the gaps. You can see that I have a lot of the glyphs here for the basic alphabet, but I'm missing the lowercase t, and I'm missing a number of uppercase letters. So I'm going to basically be trying to draw those again, based on Shantell Sans Light, and I'm going to be using this overlay to UFOs extension so I can see the shape I'm sort of tracing from the main Shantell Sans Light source. And I think I'll also probably I'll probably kind of transform a few things. These are like basically the irregular version of the font, and I think it would be a little more practical for more people if I sort of transform things. So one thing I'll probably do here is make a new source. Save as, and let's simplified, normalized. Why can't I type? Okay, there we go. All right, so simplified, normalized, and yeah. Don't make fun of me too much. It's been a little while since I've been drawing in RoboFont, to be honest, so I might be bad at it, and this will be entertaining to find out. What I should probably do is kind of click around, not worry too much about midpoints, or off-curve paths, rather, for a minute, and just do that, and then I bring up this tool and option click into my pathways, and yeah, and then let's see, is it okay? So you hit the S shortcut key to make a smooth point or smooth path. And I'm like basically trying to draw at extrema. I feel like this is not, what am I doing wrong here? Command will give you the things. Oh, and then, no, I do not want that. What tool have we got going? Okay. I want the scaled edit tool. Can I drag this? I think maybe I know there's some place to sort out the toolbar. Come on. Sort tools. Wait, is this it? Aha. Okay. I need scaling edit to be number 5. Okay. Better. All right. That makes it just, this is kind of the order I'm used to. Selection, drawing, slicing, measuring, and scaling drawing. Okay. Yes. Oh, nope. So that is roughly, oh, wrong key there. And yeah, there's not, well, I guess this is where the overlapper might be, outliner rather. Might be handy. Let's turn up the stroke width and make this lower opacity. Does that? There we go. Okay. And I should probably have line join round. So basically, this is round. And let's, I don't know, midpoint or something. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. So now we want this guy. So I wonder if I click around, if I can be somewhat quicker with this. A problem that I foresee here is that I'll probably have a hard time spacing this. Maybe I could make a script to basically directly copy the spacing from the light source to here. I'm going to transform this so it's kind of more at my baseline and cap height. And honestly, I should adjust the let's see, adjust the cap height to better reflect what it should be. So cap height is 700 here. And ascender, I think, is the same. And then X height is 485. 485. Ascender, 250. Okay. Oh, ascender is 750. Okay. And yeah, that looks better. Cool. I'm going to Command A, bring up my transform tool, kind of move this guy back a little better. And yeah. Okay. Nice. Okay. And I should really have keycaster going. Perhaps to show my hotkeys. This is probably going to be really small. I always forget about this. Let me displays. Let me make this one a little bigger so things are more visible on the YouTube feed. Okay. Here we've got T. Cool. That was weird. It was like a a smooth point, even though it wasn't connected to anything, which is kind of funny. Didn't know that was a thing to consider. Okay, this is way off. Random point. Okay. I think, whoa. Sometimes scaling edit does slightly weird stuff like that. This outliner is also super strange. I guess because it's not got a sort of extrema point as the outliner expects it to have. But I think that's all right. Oh, this is, again, a sharp point. I feel like this is so not visible. Maybe I can make it a slightly better color for people. That looks better to me, for the most part. Well, you know, maybe I should be... If I have the overlay UFO to the left, I bet it might do a slightly better job of sort of spacing itself. I could even... Maybe? Does this not work? Sometimes you can like change the spacing like that, but maybe I have a setting that's off or something. What? Okay. A little hard to know what the best thing is here. Was this like, I think this might have been doubled up. It's pretty weird. It's definitely a bit of a funny thing to draw on camera because I'm sure it just looks kind of terrible. Oh well. It is a fun design because I feel like there's a lot of room for play here. Doesn't have to be too serious or exacting. I don't know. Obviously, I'm, you know, making sure to do a good job, but it's not like a font like Name Sans where I'm like sweating every point precisely and stuff. Or most fonts, I guess. Okay. Okay, here's a new one. If I were drawing a normal font, I would put an extrema there, an extreme point there. But I think having fewer points might make some sense here. Another thing I'm gonna do is, all right, let's write a little bit of Python here. We're gonna say, I just want to take everything that has a glyph here and then copy in the width of each of those glyphs in the other font. So let's say AF equals oh god, equals I'm on like a slightly different keyboard than I have been on, so that's why I'm slightly bad at typing at the moment. All right, all fonts. But this keyboard is a lot quieter, so that seems better. All right, so then let's print AF, and we run it like this. Yeah, Command R. Okay. Cool. So because our line font is in the foreground here, that's, I think, going to be pretty consistently the first font in this list. So let's be slightly different about it, and let's say fonts equals font for font in all fonts. And then we can say print font 1 to test out, Command R, fonts 1. And it's 0 index, so if we want font 0, that will give us the lines font. Oh, cool. Okay, so then we're going to say for glyph in fonts 0, let's say print fonts 1, and we want this glyph name that we're on. Anyway, I'm not explaining as well, but I don't want to. And that's good though. So basically what I wanted to verify was that like this wouldn't give us an absurd amount of glyphs. This basically has lots of placeholder glyphs, but not very many actual glyphs that have content in them. I guess I'll write this, or I'll do this script a couple of times because it probably won't affect these glyphs yet because I think they are also placeholders. But let's say glyph dot width equals we'll copy and paste this dot width. And let's see what happens here. Cool. I believe all of them have been edited, and if we drop into a certain one, we can kind of see that their widths are now a little more reasonable. I guess we should just like start from, and I guess I might as well save this. Copy widths from other font. Okay, I mean that's like extremely basic Python, but that way I don't have to write it again. Okay. It is really nice to use transform tools for items like this. was already pretty much the right width. I wonder if I delete that point. That seems better. Same with that one. Okay, we have a new glyph to draw. One sort of detail I really appreciate about RoboFont is that it allows you to use the Alt or Option button and do a big drag and only select these off curves. That is so useful. And I don't know if you can do that in glyphs. I've kind of gotten used to not having it, but whenever I come back and I have it, it's really nice. For like doing that, for instance. Okay. Oops. Let's hold Alt so we can get it to where we want it to be. And will this work well? The outliner tool does not like it, but I think it creates a good line. And it just is being a little overly critical on us. Cool. Let's run this again. Okay. I have this guy in the other screen. All right. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I was trying to drag it in a way that I guess not. Oh well. It is the strangest experience sometimes going between apps if it's been a while, because your whole mind just kind of breaks. I guess it's a bit like going between keyboards. It's a very strange experience if you aren't used to some tool and then you're trying to use it again. I should probably be like testing everything. But I basically know it does what I need it to do, even though I forget the specific way I built it a few weeks ago. forget, it was either Font Tools or RoboFont, I think didn't work, and then the other one did. So we'll just try both if the first one doesn't work. Not Font Tools, but FontMake. Let's run this guy again. Cool. Okay. It is pretty fun to draw this thing because I'm kind of getting to be pretty freeform with it, which is pretty nice. I guess kind of a perfect thing to return to RoboFont after a little bit of a hiatus. Just that I am forgetting some of the shortcuts, or it takes me a second, but that's kind of okay if you have a bit of leeway with the shapes you're drawing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Whoa. Get back here. Okay. Okay, this feels like I could use an extra point. There we go. Ah. So you slice a line to get the point here in a RoboFont, whereas in glyphs you would kind of click the line with the pen tool, I think, to get the get another point added in there. Wonder if I should oh, you know, that's funny to think. I may have already stored the outlines in the background. That would have been nice foresight on my part if I had, and that is hilarious. I totally had. So I didn't even need to be using this overlay UFOs tool, probably. Let's try that for a second. Oh. Are these both titled foreground? Oh, okay. That's interesting. So yeah, for a minute, I'm just gonna use these background paths instead, see how that feels. You can see how useful this outliner tool is, though. It's like so handy to have that kind of going. Because it sort of helps me understand how far I have to move these points that are the midpoint of the line for the line to sort of end up at the right spot. Okay, so some of those don't have stuff yet. Here's the last guy. I'm gonna drop that down a little bit. Cool. And this one goes all the way up to the cap height, but I don't want to do that this time. I guess possibly a benefit of the showing the overlay UFOs thing is that it's probably more sort of up-to-date spacing than this background layer might be. I guess I'm not totally sure one way or the other if that background layer is accurate. Some of these that are pretty far off from being sort of along the metrics lines, we're pretty closely following some of the original scans of Shantell's handwriting. But I think that the sort of slightly regularized version, which is more like the main version of Shantell Sans, I sort of feel like that is probably, in many cases, the more useful typographic tool. I don't know. I'm sure it varies and probably depends what an individual wants. That's why we have the informal axis in the fonts themselves, in the variable font that is. Kind of forgot that you can do that. You can just transform a single like segment like I did here to make a curve shallower, for instance. Oops. Here's a perfect example of where I want to do that. And then also maybe what if I do it here? Yeah, pretty nice. Ah, stop it. Stop it. Something I've been doing a lot, I don't know if you've noticed, is you can hold command as you're close to any segment or contour and click outside of it, and whatever is the closest thing you are to will select, which I love as well. It's a great RoboFont feature. Glyphs, you have to like double click on a contour, which isn't bad, but just isn't quite as nice. So that is a good one. I feel like this is I wonder if I pull this up, I feel like I could skew this forward a little bit just to kind of make it feel more upright. Nice. I feel like I've got more points here than I really truly need. So let me try this. I also sort of want to, I kind of love, there's like a sine wavy quality about the way Shantell writes some of her M's and W's and stuff. And I feel like in a line font that is just kind of perfect. So let's run with it. What do people say when they stream video games? I don't really know. I'm, of course, thinking of this as sort of being like streaming a video game. Hopefully some people are entertained by it in a similar way. I don't know. I'm entertained by it, maybe, I think. Okay, let's kind of give this a bit more of an R-like quality. Okay, let's run this script once more. And a funny thing about the way I'm working here is that usually I would be, you know, like in the space center the whole time, trying to space things out and everything, but obviously it's not particularly useful in that sense. Or it's just like really impossible to see what the spacing looks like in a monoline font like this. So that's why in pretty big way, it's nice to have something that I relatively trust to guide this one. Yeah, I'm bringing it back because I feel like it's just slightly better than the, well, it might be pretty exact to the, yeah, come to think of it, it is quite close to the background layer, which is nice to see. Means I wasn't too far off. What happens if we make these? Kind of smooth segments. I think it works. For the most part, some things do pretty much have to be a corner, I would say. Okay, almost there, and then we can figure out how to export it and maybe somewhat test it somehow. Okay, I should add more basic punctuation. I probably have to add like a period, a hyphen, a comma, some real basics. No, stop it. All right. And exclamation. Hard to know how to make something like kind of different, but kind of the same. If that makes any sense. Is this working? Oh my god. That's better. I had accidentally inserted a typo in my script, so it was not working as needed. But we're back. Okay. I don't actually know whether these little squiggles make the most sense for the period and stuff. But I think it's probably kind of close to what is needed here. I don't know if it should be like a whole squiggle, if that makes any sense at all. Like, should it be a little circle, basically, or a little O? I don't know. And the other question is whether I should be adding accents. For now, I guess I might not. but maybe I'll get there in the future. Okay, so let's just try to build this and see what we get. Generate font. Let's make an actual fonts folder. I think I don't want to remove overlap. I wonder. Did build. And I think it kind of like draws. Let's like open it in glyphs to see. It would probably close the contours by itself. Open with, well, we could open it in RoboFont too. I don't know. Yeah, so it drew all of these strokes. Oops. Which we don't really want. Where's the quote double right? It's funny that's not in this basic thing. Might as well add it. Extensions, glyph browser. Quote double left, add to font. I like to add it with glyph browser because that way it adds with like a good production name. And does that work? Oh, nice, it does. There we go. Whoa. Okay. And I'm going to pause. What is... Okay, and we're back. I want to try to build with FontMake just to check if we get the same result as building directly out of RoboFont, where lines are automatically closed. It seems likely, but I don't know for sure. So let's do this. I like to work inside a virtual environment. Python 3 module venv. That makes a virtual environment in a folder called venv. And then we're going to source and bin activate. This allows us to install tools without cross-pollinating the rest of the computer setup. It's very slightly different to do this on Windows. I just have to Google it when I have to do that. Pip install FontMake. And then when you're using FontMake, you can pull up all of the options by saying -- help. And it gives you lots of options. I already kind of know the basic way that I like to run it is we want to output an OTF and we want to input a UFO. And here's the one we want to input. And let's see what this gives us. Error. Unhandled open contour. Okay, so this doesn't even allow us at all. It kind of puts a hard limit on it. And that's too bad. Yeah. So, I mean, one thing I'm reminded of is that I see that I just made a bunch of SVG traces last time. And I didn't save. Oh, I did save the script here. Okay. So I used this in the drawbot extension. Okay. So let's try this. Drawbot extension. Open it up. And then I wanted to open this and run it. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's trying to save into exports. Let's make a new exports folder. I mean, we could also just edit the drawbot script, but okay, here we are. I think the person using this did, we can like check this out in Illustrator to check that it's not closing itself. And if we like flip to here, cool. To be honest, what if I, yeah, I need to just get in contact with the person using these lines. Because I need to find out whether they're using the SVGs or I think they must be. I could set up the canvas size of the SVG to better reflect the glyph itself. That might be a pretty sensible thing. Let me try that. What if we do, instead of width here, let's say glyph, oops, glyph.width, and then I don't necessarily want this. Oh, just G. I probably actually need this going to the descender, so let's do like that. So this is probably a good, decent alternate form of this, maybe. At least things are all sort of the width they are supposed to have with side bearings, so that might work nicely. I don't know for sure, but we'll find out. 0404 27. The last thing I do want to try to do is just kind of as an example even. Well, okay, let me do a git commit because I've made a lot of changes here. Draw more line glyphs. Export to new SVGs. Okay, and it's hard to know if I should work in the same UFO and like copy everything to the background or make a new UFO and try something there. I'll probably just make a new one. Normalized closed paths. Let's see. And I'm actually going to shut this one. Okay, and oh yeah. Okay, I see. So basically, as an example of what I'm thinking is let's stop previewing this for a second. I'm going to select all, copy, paste, and then go out and back, and it should be closed now. I'm sure there should be a script-based way to do this. But one of those things that's like fast enough to just do, at least for now. The huge advantage of a script is that I could, for instance, automate that as part of the build process and build to this format without having these outlines that are not as flexible. Just to show what these outlines are like, if I grab both of these handles at once, it still looks like a single path, but there's actually two handles here. And you can see that it's multiple paths. That looks kind of fun in a way. And this should allow it to actually build and be like, work like a font, albeit a weird one because it will be sort of invisible. Funny when you get kind of a flow. Okay, the spacing is way wrong here, which is pretty annoying. Oh, because this, I see. This glyph is kind of way different than Oops, not what we wanted. Okay, and then I want like a smart set. Maybe not. I can do it here. We would say contours is greater than 0. That's going to be a lot better, I think. Funny how zoomed I am. Oh yeah, you can kind of see the like gray preview going away once these are closed contours. Before, you can see that they're like previewing what the contour will be when it's closed, but then this is actually closing it. Cool. Did I do them all? Oh, not quite. Here we go. Now we have an invisible font. Kind of funny. Okay. So now let's try to, oops, no. What did I do? Now let's try to build from this font. What? Normalize closed. Oh. No. Ugh, okay, whatever. OTF, you. Hey, now it's working just fine. Very cool. Okay, so then, where are we at? Master OTF. All right, let's show this. And then I should be able to use this just in Illustrator. Let's find out. Somehow I have a massive default artboard size. I don't know why. That's funny. I guess I was working on something big. I don't know. All right, so we want Shantell Sans lines. And maybe it should just be called Shantell lines. Testing. Hello world. It is interesting that glyphs, no, Illustrator by default is kind of showing us very faint outlines. I wonder if that's because of the like command. Oh no. All right. Command E is like a different rendering strategy. I don't know. Whoa. Rendering looks horrible. But why? It's honestly very strange. Oh well. This does kind of show the concept. here's the concept. Why does it look like trash? There's like yeah, that Command E option. Really weird that that it's doing that. But oh well. That's just an Illustrator thing. Be an Illustrator. Wow, it's so sluggish. Maybe it's because the artboard's really huge. I don't know. Let's try it again. A new artboard. Oh yeah, probably so. Let's make it like 8.5 by 11 inches. Okay. Shantell lines. A problem with this kind of font is it can very easily, like, if the lines get too thick, then it suddenly stops working. So like for example, God, Illustrator, what is happening? It looks so funny and terrible. I guess Illustrator is just really not used to working on fonts that have no like dimension to their outlines. I suppose that's gotta be it. Or is it something else? I don't know. Maybe my computer is being weird. Or yeah, so strange. Oh well. Pretty fun proof of concept, I guess. Yep. Well, that is that. I will probably ship it for now, and I don't know if there will be an update on this YouTube channel about this, but stay tuned on my Instagram, and I hope to eventually share what this is being used for, because it is kind of a cool thing. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like awkward silence and somebody working on outlines. So I'm going to cut in right here and kind of give a little wrap up, because I came back a couple hours later after having dinner and realized what my mistake was. It wasn't an Illustrator bug that was causing this to be terrible. It was something I wasn't seeing. So let me just explain it directly with opening the OTF I had made in RoboFont. So we'll pop it open, and it's pretty handy to look at OTFs in RoboFont. What the heck? I was kind of shocked when I saw this, but also it explained everything. You can see that this is not a smooth path as I had expected. It's a jaggy path with a bunch of points, way too many points. And I thought, why would this be? And then I remembered that by default, FontMake, when you're creating a static OTF, would remove overlaps because you don't want overlapping paths in most static fonts. You do actually want them in most variable fonts because it helps with interpolation, but in static fonts, it would often maybe show up in like an open gap sort of thing. But here we really need to ignore the overlaps and keep them because if we don't, FontMake is running this whole operation trying to kind of make a shape where there isn't one because the path is 100% overlapping. If we look at the result, the new font, let's try it. Testing, hello. Here we are. And let's flip it. Okay, this is looking better already, but if I put round end caps and round corners on it, I can then have pretty much the font I was expecting and wanting to test. So, you know, this does actually show me some pretty useful information. For instance, I should probably go back and adjust my strategy to the eye, for instance. Like it looks, this dot looks better actually in some of these glyphs. Yeah, but essentially this is so much better. So just wanted to follow up and point that out, because if I left the video with a terribly rendering font, that would have been a little bit of a bummer of an ending. So if anybody made it this far, leave a comment because I want to know who you are. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're working on something fun or creative or restorative somehow. And yeah, take care.